Normally I have fun, long, drawn-out introductions, but quite frankly, this week, football's back. So we are not going to waste any time this week. Ladies and gentlemen, right off to the side of me, it is the Prince of Production himself, longtime Patriots fan. It is Kyle Edwards. Kyle, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I can't complain. I know I'm in for a rough season, but it's all good. I'm glad to be back talking actual regular season games with you guys. I'm ready for it.
You don't want to be talking about Joe Milton anymore?
Hey, man. Look, Joe Milton is distant future. All right. We're on borrowed time until it's Drake May season. All right. That's where I'm at.
And of course, right under Kyle, one half of the team I'm going to be going against tomorrow in Brazil, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Godfrey.
What's up? Godfrey? Nothing much. Just waiting for the Packers to take it deep against the Eagles tomorrow night. While I'm at a wedding, getting drunk with a bunch of rowdy-ass Eagles fans. If someone's at that wedding and you're listening to me now and you're a Packers fan, you will be ejected by me and my family. Just letting you know. Don't get fucked up.
Well, I won't be at that wedding, so I'm safe for tomorrow. And, of course, under me, it is the man who makes this all happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Gene Wazak. How you doing, sir?
I'm fired up, man. I am so fired up. The NFL, guys, listen. You ever see Wedding Crashers?
Yeah.
What's better, Christmas or wedding season? I feel like what's better, opening day or Christmas, and this is my Christmas. Opening day of the NFL. I cannot wait. I got a game tonight. I got a game tomorrow night. I got 7 hours of commercial-free football Sunday afternoon, and then I got a Sunday night game, a Monday night game. Guys, my couch is going to have a new imprint on it because I am ready for some football. I'm fired up. I'm fired up, and I feel like with the NFL, you have no choice but to be fired up for no matter who you are. This is the land of optimism. I mean, even a Patriots fan could be optimistic about your young core, seeing your young quarterback, watching the young guys play. If you're a Falcons fan, you have the opportunity to get back into being a division winner or a competitive franchise. If you're a Panthers fan, you got a new head coach to teach your young quarterback how to run an NFL scheme in the offense. If you're a Bears fan, you got the number 1 pick in Caleb Williams, surrounded by talent with Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and DJ Moore. If you're a Packers fan, you just were a half away from going to the NFC Championship game. You got a young quarterback in Jordan Love. If you're a Houston Texans fan, you came out on fire last year with CJ Stroud. You brought in Stephon Diggs. It doesn't matter who your fan base is. You have an opportunity to be optimistic heading into week 1. Now, after week 1, we don't know what happens. You get to see some teams being prepared, some teams not. If you're a Giants fan, you get a great wide receiver, but still no quarterback. Derek Dempsey said it perfectly. I'm fired up, and I'm fired up for football tonight. But before we get into football tonight, guys, this is the show before the season starts. This is your final projections, your final predictions. We all gave our division winners. We all gave our wins and losses, over-unders. It's time, guys. It's time to go over your playoffs, top 7, each conference, and then we'll get into Super Bowl predictions. Now, I gave mine last night on Wire to Wire. So I will start with the AFC, and then we'll go around the horn, and then we'll go in the NFC. In the AFC, within the 1 seed, I have a team that's going to be playing tonight. I have the Baltimore Ravens. I think they win tonight. I have the Baltimore Ravens as the 1 seed in the AFC, and I think they're going to be perfectly fine. I think their defense is great. You got the best middle linebacker safety combo in all football. Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. Lamar Jackson, another year in the system. I think that the Ravens add in Derrick Henry, and they're going to win a lot of football games this year. My 2 seed in the AFC is a team that's playing tonight, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they roll through that division. I think they have a great, great year. And I think that they'll be the best team in the AFC West by a long shot. My 3 seed is the New York Football Jets. You guys heard this from me already. I think the Jets are going to be one of the best teams in football this year. Aaron Rodgers and company, Garrett Wilson, that defense, Robert Saleh. Now that can all change 4 plays in. By the way, just to be clear when I say this, you want to talk about being upset. If you're a Jets fan, what's the one thing you didn't want on opening week? A Monday Night Football game? How are you going to land them on a Monday Night Football? All right, well, at least don't give us a home Monday Night Football game. We don't want to recreate last year. You know what? We won't give you a home game. We'll give you a road game at the 49ers. That's crazy talk. And then my 4 seed. It's obviously, the one prediction that I think that you might get a little bit flack from me. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the AFC South. In the 5, I changed this from what we talked about weeks ago. I gave my final prediction last night. My 5 seed, I have the Buffalo Bills. No one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. In the 6, I have the Houston Texans, who I think will still be a good football team. Just take a little bit of step back. And in the 7 seed, the biggest upset of them all. Is it the Browns? No. Is it the Bengals? No. Is it the Dolphins? No. It's the Raiders. Give me Antonio Pierce running the football. I love Zamir White this year. Devontae Adams, Minshew Mania, Brock Bowers. Give me the Raiders to get that 7 seed in the AFC. Kyle, you're next.
Okay. I mean, that was interesting. When you said new for the AFC East, I was like, New England Patriots, but I knew you were going to say the Jets. But I'm going to start. My number 1 seed overall, I have the Chiefs out of the West. I think that it's going to be tough for them going for the 3-peat, 2 long seasons. They might start off a little slow. I kind of agree with you. I think the Ravens probably do win tonight. But I think the Chiefs will be the number 1 overall seed in the playoffs will run through Arrowhead. My 2nd seed, I do have the Ravens winning the North. I think it'll be very competitive like it is every year. Ravens still have a really good team. Obviously, come talk to me when they get to the playoffs, but I have them winning that division.
I love it.
Hey, it's what I do. Okay, it's what I do. 3 seed, I have the Texans winning the South. I feel like C.J. Stroud, that organization, has really turned things around. D'Amico Ryans, they go out and get Stephon Diggs defensively. I think they'll be just as good, if not a little bit better. So I'll take them to win the South. And then I have the Dolphins winning the East only because I feel like they're going to sit there and load up on wins early. I mean, I don't like them once we get into like November, December. But I feel like they'll win enough that they'll hold on in that division. I saw that, Danny. I saw that, Daniel Dempsey. Patriots thing. It's all good. We're going to shock the world. But 5 seed, I do have the Jets. I think the Jets and the Dolphins will fight it out for the division. I just have the Dolphins edging them out. Jets become the 5 seed, obviously, assuming Aaron Rodgers plays the whole year. And, with the weapons that they have offensively and defensively, I'll give them the number 1 wild card spot. 6 seed, I do have the Bengals. It's a little tricky with them because of a lot of the turmoil in terms of their wide receiver room and Burrow coming back from the injury. But I think they have enough that they get it done. Are the 6 seed. The 7 seed, I'm going with the Titans because I feel like once you get to the 7 seed, it's definitely wide open. I feel like the Titans will be there. I think the Bills will be in the conversation. I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers are there. But I'm going to go with the Titans because of the moves that they've made around Will Levis, bringing in Boyd and Ridley. Defensively, you get Snead, those guys over there. I think they find a way and they sneak in as a 7 seed in the in the AFC.
Okay. Guardy 3, it's on you, brother.
Yeah, so I think the Ravens being the 1 seed. I'm gonna go 2 seed, the New York Jets. 3 seed, Kansas City Chiefs. 4 seed winning the AFC South. I'll take the Texans. I believe in the Texans. I think they might take a step back, but I think the Texans taking a step back is still
You're good. Keep going, brother.
okay. I think the Texans taking a step back is still good enough to win the division. at the 5 seed. This is where it gets tough, but this is where I'll put the Dolphins at the 6 seed. This is, I think this is a good spot for the Bengals. And at the 7th seed, I'll take the Browns. This was a team that managed to get to the playoffs with Joe Flacco. So I think if Deshaun Watson comes back and he plays even halfway remotely decent, then this is going to be a team to look out for. And they could be a very dangerous team come playoff time.
Okay. I hear yours. Godfrey, give me your top 7, and then we'll get into our AFC Super Bowl participant.
So I'm going to go with the Chiefs at 1. I think they'll make a push for the 3-peat. I don't know if they'll do it, but, every year we doubt them. They start off slow, and then somehow they beat insurmountable odds. They got to go on the road, play the 1 seed, and just always get there. So I think they're going to win their division. I think they're going to be the 1 seed. I think the Ravens are going to be the 2 seed. I think that they're going to have a good regular season. I think they're not going to be as good as last year. I think they'll be good. I just don't think they'll be as good as last year. They got a lot to prove after having a good regular season, and just, you make any excuse you want for them, but they sucked in the playoffs. And that's Lamar has to get over that hump, and he's not elite. I don't know why people call him elite until he shows he can win a playoff game or 2 in a row. I'm sorry. That's the standard, guys. Sorry, Baltimore fans. In the 3 seed, I have the Jets finally winning in division, long awaited. You could flip-flop the Jets or the Ravens. It's just going to come down to record, obviously, right? But I have the Jets winning their division pretty easily. In the AFC South, this is a tough one because I think the Texans are going to have a little bit tougher of a schedule this year. And I just don't, I know they're a popular pick. People love CJ Stroud, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars to win this division. Dougie P is going to bounce back. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to have a bounce back year. That defense has got to hold up, but watch out for the Colts. But I still think the Jags are they're going to have a better year this year. And they're going to win that division. So, now with the wild cards, I got some different ones here that people might be shocked by, but listen, these predictions are not fun if we're all eating vanilla ice cream and no jimmies or sprinkles, right? So let's get down to the party. At the 5 seed, I have the Cleveland Browns at the 5 seed. Okay, I think they're going to compete this year. They have a good defense. I know there's a lot of doubt on Deshaun Watson. I know he's not a likable guy, but I did see flashes of that old guy last year before injuries held up. Barring health, I think that they have the depth of defense. I think that offensive scheme is really great for that, and I think they can compete. And they competed last year. They took Joe Flacco to the moon. I think. I mean, let's be real here. That was a miracle in itself. Is Trevor Lawrence elite? You can piss Gene off right now. No. So that's a good question though. But we got the Browns there. Okay. I think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs at the 6th seed. Okay. No, I'm sorry. Let me stop there. I'm going to move them a little off. We're going with the Bills. I think everybody's counting the Bills out, that they're not going to make the playoffs. I just think you can't count them out with Josh Allen. Yeah, they lost a lot of players. I'm not counting them out. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Bills. I think they're going to compete, and I think they're going to be sneaky. And my 7th seed, is tough. Obviously, I'm leaning AFC North heavy this year with all these picks. But I'm going to have the Bengals missing the playoffs and the Steelers sneaking in at the 7th seed. The Bengals, they do have the offensive weapons, but they're taking steps back in certain areas and personnel. You got to question certain parts of the team of how it's built out. Burrow can cook, but that I at a certain point, and they're asking him to carry too much. I wonder if he can stay healthy. I hope he can, because I love seeing the guy play. But my 7th seed is going to be the Steelers, and that's who I got this year in AFC.
I'm super excited for my AFC playoffs because I am predicting a lot of madness and craziness this year. For my AFC championship game, I have the Jets taking on the Jaguars. I have the Jaguars going into Baltimore, beating the Ravens. I have the Jets going into Kansas City and beating the Chiefs. I have the Jets ultimately going to the Super Bowl over the Jaguars. That is my AFC participant. Where do you guys have it, Kyle?
Okay. Well, that I did not see that coming, but I'm a little bit different. So I do have the Chiefs making it back to the AFC title game. I have them beating I do think the Jets will actually beat the Dolphins wild card round. I think the Chiefs knock off the Jets, get to the AFC title game. I have the Texans making it to the AFC title game, beating Baltimore and beating the Bengals. So I have those two matching up, and I do have the Chiefs beating the Texans to make it back to the Super Bowl. I know it's pretty boring, but I think the Texans will be exciting to watch.
So you have the Chiefs as your
Another
AFC
step forward for them. Yep.
Brett, who is your AFC participant in the Super Bowl?
Oh, man, this one, I think I'll take the Jets. And this one might be boring, but I think the Jets beat the Ravens. I think the Ravens make it back, and we watch Lamar fall short just again to Aaron Rodgers and company.
I'm just laughing at Kyle's face when he says that, because Kyle's like, thank God.
All right, so
the Ravens wouldn't be able to handle that.
One Chiefs. Who do you got, Godfrey?
So the AFC is tough. The Chiefs have to lose at some point, right? I mean, if they pull off a three-peat, I mean, you're talking GOAT status for Andy Reid, right? I mean, like, if you pull off a three-peat in football, it's never been done, right? I would love to see it from a historical perspective, but I have to think about who can show up in the playoffs when I think about the AFC and how it plays out. And, that's definitely not the Ravens. Sorry, Ravens. You don't show up. I mean, you're a Ferrari in the regular season and you're a Geo Metro in the playoffs. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you go from a 12-cylinder to a 3-cylinder piece of crap. It's the facts. So I can't pick them to go to the Super Bowl. They got to show it until I can give them confidence. The Jets, they're the hot pick. They got a great defense. And I think it's going to be Jets Chiefs in the AFC championship game. And I think the Chiefs are going to break the Jets fans' hearts, and they're just going to be thinking about what could be. And then you got the Chiefs in the Super Bowl for the third time in a row.
So we got 2 Chiefs and 2 Jets. Let's go over to the NFC. I'll once again, because I already gave mine, I'll go first here and give you my top 7. Already gave them if you listened to Wire to Wire last night, but that's okay. My number 1 seed in the NFC is the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're in one of the weaker divisions of the 4. I think they'll be able to I think they'll run through the regular season as usual. They got everybody back. Ayuk is back, Trent Williams, Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. The defense is still the defense. It's very good. I have them finishing as the 1 seed. I have the Philadelphia Eagles as the 2 seed in the NFC at 12-5. Tied at 12-5 for the 2 seed. Only losing due to the tiebreaker. For the number 3 seed, I have the Atlanta Falcons. 12-5, the 3 seed. Now, you might be asking yourself, where's the Detroit Lions? Where's the AFC North? Listen, calm down, Lions fans. I'm going to feed you. Just pay attention. I got you. The Detroit Lions are my 4 seed. I think they end up becoming the top seed in the NFC playoffs. They win the division in the NFC North and the 4th seed in the NFC playoffs. My number 5. Hey, guys, I'm all in. And I got to apologize to Matt Eberflus. He made me eat my words. I got the Chicago Bears finishing as the number 5 seed in the NFC. And the number 6 seed, I got the Green Bay Packers. I got the Pack. I think the NFC North is going to beat each other up, which is why I have them finishing as the 4, 5, and 6. I think all their records will be very similar. Tiebreakers will change it. But I love the NFC North this year as a whole. I think they all beat up on the Vikings and they all beat up on each other. I think all 3 of those teams split with each other, which gives them 3 losses to begin with. And I think they lose a couple games in the regular season, obviously. And then the 7 seed, is it the Cowboys? No, it's not the Cowboys. Give me the Los Angeles Rams, Matt Stafford, Puka Nakua, Cooper Kupp, and Sean McVay. And I have the Rams at the 7 seed. That's my NFC playoff predictions. Kyle, head it right back to you.
All right. So it's kind of similar at the top, but I do have the Eagles as the number 1 overall seed. I think they bounced back this year. I feel like they've fixed their secondary issues, which was a big issue for them last season. Excited to see Jalen Hurts with now adding Jahan Dotson, which I still not sure what the Commanders were thinking there, but I think it's a great pickup for them. So I got them as the number 1 seed. I actually had the Lions as the 2 seed. I feel like they build off of last year. I like the direction that they're going in. You know, Dan Campbell has definitely shaped that team in his image. I think they have another strong season this year. I have the Niners as a 3 seed. And kind of like you, I think the 1, 2, and 3 seed will be very similar record-wise. Record-wise, there'll probably be some tiebreakers in there, but I have the Niners as a 3 seed. I think they win that division pretty easily, like they kind of normally do recently here. And I think there's a lot of desperation in San Francisco, knowing that this could be a last kind of dance for a lot of these guys. So I think they put it on the line and get the 3 seed. I have the Falcons as a 4 seed. I think they are the best team in the AFC South. You know, they were in contention last year with Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke just bouncing back and forth starting. They actually have a legit starter this year, so I think they win that division kind of comfortably, but it is also the Falcons, so they'll make it interesting in the end. I have the Packers as a 5 seed. I'm in love with Jordan Love. I like where they're going. I like the fact that he's playing well with those young wide receivers that apparently Aaron Rodgers couldn't make anything work with, but that's neither here nor there. So I'll take the Packers as a 5. I've got the Cowboys as a 6 seed, even though I think the Cowboys are a mess. So they could either, meet my expectation and actually be a playoff team, but I would not be surprised if they missed it and it turns into a whole 3-ring circus in Dallas, which I'm kind of here for, but I have them as a 6 seed. And then I have the Bears. I'm kind of there with you. I got the Bears as a 7 seed. I was looking at that last spot as a wildcard team, and I do think that Caleb Williams is being supported better than Justin Fields was. I think Williams will have a good rookie season. I think their defense will still be pretty good. So I see them getting in as a 7 seed in the NFC.
Okay. Guardy 3, it's on you, my friend.
Yeah, so for the 1 seed, I hate to say it, but I have the Detroit Lions. I think they build on last year too. And I think they have the underrated factor this year of all their games but 3 will be played in a dome. They don't have to really deal with a lot of climate change and weather, and they kind of get a lot of breaks, so they can kind of play in similar conditions for most weeks. I think number 2 seed, give me the Eagles. 3 seed, 49ers. 4 seed, I like the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is where it gets fun. I think the 5 seed, I'll take the Cowboys here, and I'll put the Packers at the 6 seed. I think the Packers start out slowly. They have a new defensive coordinator, just a couple new pieces they have to try to integrate. I think the defense gets off to a little bit of a rough and slow start, trying to learn to pick up the new scheme. And I think they, just like last year, I think they take off in the second half of the year rather than in the beginning. And then in the 7th seed for that last spot, this one, it's tough, but I'll go with the Bears. I don't like saying it, but
oh my bro, that was like pulling teeth, dude. Every time he says an NFC North team, he has to pause.
I don't like doing it, but yeah, I think the NFC North has 3 teams this year.
I have the NFC North with 3 teams also, so I get you. Godfrey, what's your top 7, brother?
Well, I did a show previously. If you guys are Eagles fans, called Birds Deep, you could take a look at. And I have the Eagles going 13-4. So I'm going to go with them at the number 1 seed. Yes, I'm wearing an Eagles hat. Call me a homer. I'll take it. But I have very good their schedule, I think, is very favorable over the course of the season. My number 2 seed is the 49ers. Same team, I think their division is going to be a little more. It's going to be tougher than people realize. I think the Seahawks are on an upward trend. I think McDonald is going to give them a run for their money defensively. Remember what that defense did to the 49ers last year. So, I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but I'm saying they might steal a game from them. So I think there's a lot more bumps and bruises in their division. However, I do think they finished as the number 2 seed pretty comfortably. So they're going to be the 2 seed, and the Niners are the Niners, and they got a lot of people returning. They're signing the people they need to sign. So the 3 seed, I'm going to go with the Lions. Okay. They got, a fully focused Jameson Williams, as long as he can stay away from the parlays on company property. Stay away from DraftKings, buddy. They got some more. They got a really good offensive line. So there's a lot of young talent there. They got the momentum. So they could easily flip-flop with the Niners, but, listen, it's hard to predict things in the future like that. So I got the Lions at the 3 seed. The 4 seed, I'm going to go with the Falcons. They're going to win the NFC South. I think the Panthers will be better than people think, but not that great. I think the Buccaneers are due for a downswing, and I think the Saints are a dumpster fire ready to get lit with dry newspaper and a bunch of matches sitting on the outside of the burn can. So we'll see what happens there. 5 seed, I'm going to go with the Bears. Yep, the Bears. I think you're going to surprise people. Are they getting a little bit of that Hard Knocks hype? Yes. However, I think they have put the pieces together. I think Eberflus, listen, Hard Knocks hypes people up, but then it doesn't. I was less impressed with Robert Saleh after Hard Knocks last year. I'm more impressed with Matt Eberflus after Hard Knocks this year. Okay. And I feel like the guy is a hell of a football coach. I had no respect for him until I got to see an in-depth look at him. I just think he's running a good ship over there. Call me crazy, but I'm going with the Bears. And I'm going to say they were right to get Caleb Williams and let go of Justin Fields. I was very against it, but I'm not going to do it anymore. So we're going to go with the Bears here. Number 6, I'm going to go with the Pack. Don't you worry, Guardy 3. I'm not leaving you guys out the playoffs, baby. The Packers are going to make it. They are going to make it. I think they take, they're a good team. They're developing. Have nothing against the Pack. They went on a nice late run last year, and I think that they got a good coach there, and they're gonna still make the playoffs. Number 7 might surprise people, but again, these aren't fun unless we give you some surprises. I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks to make it into the playoffs at the number 7 seed with the new coaching staff. I like where they're going there. I like where the defense is going with the coordinator. I think DK Metcalf is going to be Jesus and sandals and go bananas this year with that with that offensive coordinator. And I think they're going to give, they're not going to win the division, but they're going to give the 49ers some fits that they haven't been able to give before. And I'm going to go sneaking into 7th seed. I don't have the Rams making it. I think they just miss it because they're not as good as people think. And I think the Cowboys are just going to miss it too. And I think they will be eliminated from playoff contention. G made that prediction on Birds Deep, and nothing would make me happier to close out 2024 than see the Cowboys get eliminated from the playoffs. So I do not have them making the playoffs.
Well, just like the AFC playoff picture, I have some wildness happening in the NFC playoff picture also. I have the 4 seed Detroit Lions going into San Francisco and upsetting the 49ers this year, headed to the NFC Championship game to take on the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles, who will beat up on the Atlanta Falcons in Philadelphia twice. In the NFC Championship game, I have my heart being absolutely ripped out of my soul as the Detroit Lions come into Lincoln Financial Field and beat the Philadelphia Eagles to head to the Super Bowl. To set up a Lions-Jets Super Bowl in which Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will hoist Lombardi's trophy. I have Jets over Lions in this year's Super Bowl. That is my official prediction. Kyle.
Okay. I have the Eagles beating the Packers because I have the Packers beating the Falcons on the road in the wild card weekend. So
Okay.
Eagles will beat the Packers, and then I have the Niners beat the Lions on the other side of the divisional round, and then I have the Niners beating the Eagles. And I'm no offense, Godfrey and Gene, but I have the Niners beating the Eagles. No,
You're
Niners
good.
beating the Eagles in the NFC title game. So I have the Niners Chiefs Super Bowl. going on.
You got a complete replay of last year. Who wins it?
Yeah. I actually have the Niners getting it done this year. Like I said, I think with all the desperation, they understand how big of a year this is. I do think they finally get it done. And I also think for the Chiefs to go on a three-peat, like that's a lot to ask. And maybe they kind of run out of some steam in the Super Bowl or something. But I mean, getting back to 3 straight would still be an accomplishment. But I have the Niners getting it done this year.
Okay, Brett.
Will Kyle Shanahan be on the IR for the Super Bowl? It's the only way they're going to win.
I mean, he's part of the desperation. He needs a Super Bowl win.
Bro,
like he's
more than
all
anyone.
wrapped up in that. Yes, I agree.
Mater and Marty Day
He's a total
Schottenheimer.
Brett, who you got?
Ooh, the homer in me says Packers beat the Jets in the Super Bowl. Love Rodgers Bowl, but being my unbiased pick, gonna get a little crazy with this one. In the NFC Championship game, it will be, and I hate to say it again, but the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams make a run from the 7th seed to the NFC Championship game. And they face the Eagles. The Bears beat the Eagles, go to the Super Bowl, Caleb Williams rookie year, except they run into the owner of the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. Rodgers gets his second by defeating the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl.
Could you imagine the trash talk of Aaron Rodgers talking about I still own you, Chicago in the Super Bowl? That would be insanity.
It hurt me to say it.
Jets over Bears. I have Jets over Lions. Kyle's got 49ers over Chiefs. Godfrey, take us home.
Ooh. So, I mean, listen, I think the Eagles are the number 1 seed. I think it's going to be Niners-Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
And it's going to be in Philly. And it's the revenge game from, the season before. And I think the Eagles are going to be well more equipped to go after that defense than they were last year. I think the defense is going to be more equipped to stop their offense last year. The Niners look like they were playing Madden against us pretty much against the Eagles when they played them. And that's not going to be the case now. So, yep, I'm picking a team to go to the Super Bowl. I think when I look at the playoff landscape, I think, Caleb gets into the playoffs. I think the Packers, are going to falter. I think that I don't see any of these NFC teams really getting past the Eagles or the Niners to get to the NFC Championship game. And I'm going to go with the Eagles to come through and beat the 49ers. And then they're going to take on the Chiefs. Old master Andy Reid gets to come for the 3-peat. And Jalen Hurts has his story of redemption and wins the Super Bowl and stops the 3-peat. I'm predicting.
I'm not going to say it's a homer pick,
and I'm going there.
I'm not going to say it's a homer pick.
As Redman says, I'll be that.
That's fair. So just to be clear, so we are all wrapped up.
It could be.
Godfrey has Eagles over Chiefs. Kyle has 49ers over Chiefs. Guardy 3 has Jets over Bears. And I have Jets over Lions for our Super Bowl predictions. Before we move on to tonight's game, I just would like to get your your MVP of this season. I gave mine out last night. I think it's going to be Josh Allen. I know that sounds crazy, but I think not having to force feed the ball to one wide receiver and be able to play within the Joe Brady system will do him wonders. I love Josh Allen. I think he's going to put up video game numbers this year. I think the arm punts will calm down just a little bit, and I have Josh Allen win league MVP.
That's a good one.
Yes, that's not a bad one. I've been thinking about this one. I feel like we might get one of these young quarterbacks to get an MVP this year. I'm going to go CJ Stroud.
Okay.
I feel like he's got a lot of momentum coming in off of last season. I think he has another good year. and I think he gets MVP this year.
Guardy 3.
Whew. This one's tough, but I think I fully agree with the Josh Allen pick. I think he's going to show out, and that offense is just going to have a much better year than a lot of people expect. So I'm going to back Gene and say Josh Allen.
Okay. Godfrey, who's your MVP? I mean, you got to go full homer right at this point, right? You got to go Jalen Hurts. You got him as the number 1 seed. You got him winning the Super Bowl. I mean, you got to go Jalen Hurts here, right?
Well, it is a regular season award, so I probably should give it to Lamar Jackson.
Oh, man.
Since he's the master of the regular season. I know you appreciate that, Kyle. But
I did.
But yeah, I mean, it is a regular season award, right? I mean,
no, it's
so
not.
I'm going to go with a wild non-quarterback pick here. We can't go with non-quarterback?
You can go anybody you want.
Yeah.
It's
Give me a pick, bro.
Brees Hall, 2,000-yard season MVP.
My Google Home was yelling at you. Like, give me a pick, Godfrey. It's what it said. All right. So Brees Hall, Josh Allen, and CJ Stroud. All right, let's get into tonight's football game. You got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. I really love this football game. I think it's a great, John Harbaugh's 14-2 or 15-2 in opening game matchups. Since 2008, he's been in 15, so he's 13-2. Opening day. Andy Reid's 8-1 since taking over for the Kansas City Chiefs. Both these teams are normally very prepared. The only game that Andy Reid lost on opening day was last year to the Detroit Lions. Guardy 3, I'm going to start with you. How do you see this game going? What are your keys to victory? And where are you at with this one?
Yeah, I think this will be a fun game. Both teams always are really prepared. Personally, I think the Ravens take tonight. I think they control the clock. And I think when it comes to that defense, they have the perfect duo to cover Travis Kelce. They have Roquan Smith, they have Kyle Hamilton, they have so many different, a variety of options they can throw at him. They can completely mix up their coverages. So overall, I think the key to the game for honestly both teams is clock control. If you're the Ravens, you don't want to give Patrick Mahomes too many chances and too much time on the field. But if you're the Chiefs, you also just want to acknowledge the fact that your wide receivers aren't really looking that hot this year. You want to rely on Pacheco in the run game to control the clock, control the ground, and overall, I think it's going to be a real big game on time of possession and just a lot of running the football. And in a game like that, I'll give the edge to the Ravens.
Quote the Ravens winning a regular season game. Kyle, how do you see this one playing out? What are your keys to victory? How do you think each team wins?
Yeah, I also think the Ravens get it done tonight. I just think because of what happened. Look, I mean, like you said, it's a regular season, so we get good Ravens, right? And because of the way the AFC title game went, you just know that they've circled this game forever. Probably since the next day, or once the schedule came out, they circled this game. They're going to want to try to prove some point. I mean, obviously, week 1 is not the AFC title game, but for their mentality, they need this. If the Chiefs lose tonight, okay, so what? They'll turn around, probably get a win in week 2, and they'll be right back on their road to the three-peat. So the Ravens better get it done. Otherwise, I just don't know what to say for them. So I think for them, they will obviously feature Derrick Henry, try to, bully a little bit. I'm assuming they're not going to go to the same game plan of Lamar throwing the ball around way too much because the Chiefs would just expose them again. And I do think for the Chiefs, get some balance. Obviously, you have Xavier Worthy, who's there, a new weapon. Might see him featured a little bit. But, yeah, I just think the Ravens defense will be good once again this year. I think they'll slow them down a little bit. And I just think the Ravens play a little better week 1 than they did back in January. So I'll take the Ravens to win tonight.
Just to answer this question, Emeka asked the question on the Ravens defense. Do I drop them or keep? I keep, brother. Don't be scared of playing an elite defense versus any team in the NFL. You've seen what the Jets did to the Chiefs last year.
Yeah. Don't be scared. Don't be scared for sure.
Don't be scared. Godfrey, how you see this game going? What's your keys to victory?
Well, listen, I'm gonna give you guys a preview. I'm going hard on Lamar this year until he proves me wrong. Because there was a lot of chatter about him. He's a great regular season quarterback. We've changed offensive coordinators now. Who's next to coach? Right? He's going to be there for a while. He's got to elevate his game. And I wait for it every year because I think he's an exciting player to do that. And he shows me he regresses back to old habits every single year. When it comes to the playoffs. Now, played a full year last year, MVP season. Congratulations. I look at this game and I think the Ravens need it more. You hit it down on the head. They circled it on the schedule. You know why they circled it? Because they have a losing mentality. They haven't won the big game yet. They're desperate. They're clawing. And I'm serious. They are. Because if you're circling game, if you're going to say, I'm going to show you I'm the better team after we got kicked in the ass in Baltimore in your home stadium, yeah, you don't have it. You don't have it. You got to show me. So they need it more. The Chiefs, they can lose a game and play it cool, go on the road and win games and win the Super Bowl. I mean, I listen, they're not rattled that way. I know Andy Reid, and he'll have some head scratcher losses as great as he is. Last year, there was a couple for the Chiefs. You're like, how the hell did they lose that game? And it just happens. This could be one of those games. I'll take the Ravens because I think they want it more than the Chiefs. I think it means more to the Ravens than it does the Chiefs. So therefore, I'm going to give it to the Ravens. I'm going to give it to their defense. I think the Chiefs still have some things to work out schematically with the new parts they have there. And but long term, listen, they are playing the king of the regular season, Lamar Jackson, and he will defend his title, the one that does not matter. It's like the NBA in-season tournament. Show me you can win the championship, buddy. But the Ravens win tonight.
Here's the one thing I can't wait to see. Do you know that the Chiefs made a signing this offseason? A very controversial guy signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Does anybody know this? Anybody know who the Chiefs starting punter is?
It's Mataraiza, or how you pronounce it?
Oh, God. Mataraiza. Yeah. I think that'll be interesting.
Oh, he's back in?
He's the Chiefs starting punter.
Yep.
Andy Reid loves giving second chances. He's done it for so many people over the course of the years. I believe Mataraiza earned one. I don't think he ever deserved to be cut to begin with. The allegations were proven to be false, but that's not for here or there. I don't like being on the same side as three other guys on this panel. I don't. Normally, when we're all on the same side, we're wrong. But with that being said, I've been on the Ravens on this game for a while. I think you said it perfectly when you said the Chiefs have a lot of pieces to the puzzle they still have to work in. No Hollywood Brown tonight. Xavier Worthy's a rookie. The only two people that he's going to be able to rely on in pass game is Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce that he's played with before. I think the Chiefs have a huge loss on the defensive side of the football. We can't forget they just lost their number one corner. Now, granted, Trent McDuffie can definitely step up into that situation and move right in. And then I want to take a shot at you, Godfrey. I'm going to take a real shot at you. If you watched last year's AFC Championship game and you blame that game on Lamar Jackson, shame on you, sir. Shame on you. Zay Flowers had the ball. Zay Flowers had the ball and dropped the ball going into the end zone. Fumbled the ball going into the end zone. That is not on Lamar Jackson. The offensive game plan was to throw the ball 50 times and run it 6 times. That is not on Lamar Jackson. That is clearly a coaching malfunction from a team that ran the ball 30 times a game to run it 6 times in the AFC Championship game. That's a mistake. With that being said, you said it perfectly. The Ravens need this game more. They do. The Chiefs are going to go into this game just like last year. I'd like to win. It'd be nice to win. But it really doesn't matter. Come playoffs, we're going to win. The Ravens have to prove to themselves they can beat this team. I think about this matchup like when Buffalo went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs after the Chiefs beat them in that epic divisional round game when Buffalo came back the next year and beat the Chiefs because they wanted it more. But we ultimately found out when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl that the Chiefs are going to be the better team when it's all said and done. But with that being said, I love the Ravens tonight. They need it more. They want it more. They added King Henry. Derrick Henry has done great versus Kansas City defenses over the course of his career. I think that tonight will be no different. I think he has his best game as a Raven, and I think the rest of the season will be downhill. I don't think he's a great fit there. I love the Ravens tonight, though. So give me the Ravens. And Jory hates them.
Well, I will say that the Lamar can't control the game plan, but 54% completion percentage, even if you take Zay Flowers' drop away, pretty damn low for the playoffs.
Bro, the fumble drove me nuts. It changed the whole course of the game.
It does. However, is the game plan within the scope of what Lamar's giving them to be able to do? Because, again, I have to question.
Chase, I miss you, brother. I miss you so much.
One by 17.
Chiefs by 17, baby.
I mean, they might, but I'm going with the Ravens. I have to. I mean, they want it more. Gang, bitches.
All right, let's move on to Friday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers. We're going to talk about this game. And before we talk about the game, can we all get on the same page here? I think the NFL dropped the ball with this game. Number one, it being on Peacock. I hate that. Number two, I can't stand that it's in Sao Paulo, Brazil, with all the issues with safety. Look at the stadium. I thought they were going to be playing in a pristine environment. Maybe the field itself is pristine, but outside the field looks horrendous. The players have to stay in their hotel. They're not allowed to walk the streets. They have a whole do's and don'ts. There's a lot of people being – now, listen, it's not required not to wear green, but they're asking people not to wear green. The Eagles 100% obliged. They're wearing black and white due to rival soccer clubs wearing green. It seems like a money grab from the NFL, and it's what a lot of people hate about the NFL is when they're absolutely just going for a money grab. I don't like this. I don't like them opening the season there. I don't like them being on Peacock to begin with. I don't like the game being on a soccer field, which has never hosted an NFL football game before. I'm wondering, I get it. It's natural grass. Your thoughts on the Brazil game? Is anyone excited to see football played in a soccer stadium? Is anyone excited to see, like, you're a Packers fan. I know the Eagles were very outspoken. Darius Slay had to apologize about how outspoken he was about not wanting to play in Brazil. Have the Packers had a different mindset towards us?
You could tell just like from what they say, and even just seeing them in pictures in Brazil, they really just don't seem like they want to be there at all. And I quite frankly don't blame them. I agree the NFL dropped the ball big time with this one. I'm all for the NFL expanding the game, but if I have to make a 20-page do's and don'ts list because the place is so dangerous and has that many issues, maybe we shouldn't go there for right now until they clean up their act. So I absolutely hate that this game's in Brazil.
Love Timmy Todd's comment. Putting their players in unnecessary danger for a money grab that won't work out in the long run. I completely agree. Want to read Michael Wenrick's comment. Season opener. Imagine being a ticket holder for the whole season and you're not able to see the opener. I don't know. Maybe the first game of the year is irrelevant, but it seems like a poor choice to start the season in a location where the diehard fans can barely get there. I feel like as a player, I'd hate not having my biggest fans being able to watch me play. I don't know. Love that comment, Mike. Kyle, your thoughts on it? Maybe you're positive. Maybe you're an optimist on this.
I mean, if we kind of look at where the NFL's been going, look, they're playing in Germany, they're playing in England. Obviously, it's all about globalization because unfortunately, they're not the NBA. Like the NBA is a global game because so many countries play basketball. When it comes to football, it's kind of centralized to here. So I get what they're trying to do. I mean, yeah, now hearing about everything in Brazil, obviously it wasn't the smartest thing to go there. But we kind of know the NFL is going to do this. They're going to do it again next year. They'll probably pick, some other location to do it in, and that's just how it is. I mean, to talk about the soccer field, I mean, we did have the Raiders playing on a baseball diamond. So,
it's a really
I mean, I can't knock Brazil if they're going to play at a soccer stadium when we had teams here in America playing on either, I mean, look at the Giants and the Jets playing on that field that's tearing up knees every week. And like I said, the Raiders are playing on the baseball field, so they're not exactly doing the best here at every location, every stadium. I mean, I don't know, because I understand like soccer crowds can be very rowdy. It might be a good atmosphere, but I understand where like Michael's coming from. If you're an Eagles fan, a Packers fan, it stinks not having that game be in your stadium. In terms of the streaming thing, that's where every sport's going, so I'm not even upset with that necessarily. Like that's the future. It's getting on as many streaming platforms as you can as more and more people kind of ditch cable, ditch all that, and mainly focus on streaming. That's just where it's heading. Like I understand that part of it, but like I said, I get where people aren't thrilled with it being in Brazil. Because yes, if you need do's and don'ts, you probably didn't need to go there in the first place. But once again, from everything the league's been doing, you kind of understand why they're doing it.
Also, I think this is a really interesting point. The Philadelphia Eagles are staying 22 minutes with traffic from the stadium. The Green Bay Packers hotel is an hour and a half to 2 hours away from the stadium. The Eagles being the home team, they got the closer hotel. And I just think that's wild, like to make it commute 2 hours to the stadium. I get it's Friday night game. They'll commute plenty of time. I don't think that's going to have anything to do with, but like, I just don't know, man. It's so unnecessary to have that type of travel. Godfrey, what are your thoughts about the stadium itself?
I mean, it's kind of to be expected. They're not going to build a brand new stadium unless it's like the Olympics. I think if you leave Green Bay, you think everything is Sao Paulo, Brazil compared to where you live. So I'm sorry, Green Bay, but when you step out your zip code, everything's a big city because you're Green Bay. I mean, it's come on. Like, do you even live in Green Bay, Gardy?
No.
No. Who does? I think Santa Claus lives there. Is that where the North Pole is? I don't know. So I really don't think it's as big as deal as people are making out. I think I'm in a minority here. I think Eagles fans are overreacting.
Okay.
I think it's not normal these days. And I think, there's a lot to be made about that. I do think there's some stupid stuff going on. Like, hey, you can't wear green. Well, green's in your flag color. So hello, like I don't get that, but all right, whatever. So, you get, yellow's in your flag color too, but you can what? Like it doesn't make any sense. You pick the two teams with the color schemes that are in your flag. Seriously. But they're trying to grow the game. I've always been upset about this as a fan, but I have been beaten in submission because I just feel like the NFL prints so much money. They're never going to change anything. And as much crap as people talk about Roger Goodell, he's made the owners a lot of money. So at the end of the day, I just don't think it's that big a deal because it's something that we're going to have to live with. I don't know. And here's the thing about it. Like, as a fan, how do you voice displeasure? Don't buy the tickets. Don't go to games, right? And I think less fans are going to games because football in general is expensive, dude. Even to go to a game to your local team it depends on your team. If you're an Eagles fan, it's expensive. Okay. If you're a Patriots fan when they were winning, it was expensive, right? So, I know it's expensive for Green Bay tickets, right? I mean, you got to get on a waiting list for tickets for Green Bay and the Eagles. You got to pay a seat license. So once the league started allowing people to charge seat licenses to buy tickets, I was pretty much out caring because people just wholesale accepted that bullshit. And then they're like, yeah, build stadiums, do a tax pass through for owners. So to me, it's just icing on the cake. It sucks, but I just think that there's no way it's ever going to change unless no one shows up to the damn game and they sell them out. And guess what?
Godfrey, who do you have winning about it? Who do you have winning the game and why? Can you just give us that? We got 4 minutes left.
It's going to be the Eagles because they're not wearing green. No, I think it's going to be a close game, 28-24. I think the Eagles are going to be able to impose the will on them later in the game and run the ball.
Okay. Kyle, how do you see this game going? What do you see? What are the keys to victory?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good matchup. I also have the Eagles winning this one. I feel like I really like the Dotson addition. I think that's a great supplement to Smith and Brown because those two are going to play really well on the outside. I'm interested to see Saquon Barkley, his role, how effective he can be in the running game, probably in the screen game as well. And I do think Green Bay will play well because, like I said, Jordan Love and those guys on that side are playing well also. But I'm interested because the Eagles in the new secondary, I just feel like it's going to play much better back on the back end. And because of that, I think that's enough for the Eagles to win it.
Okay. Guardy 3, pick your Packers, brother. Come on, man. Don't do this to me. I need to have a little rivalry here.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll go Packers. I think it'll be close. I think you'll see some defensive breakdowns from the Packers. They're adapting to a new scheme, new defensive coordinator. But in the end, it'll be a tough game. But I'm going to say the Packers break the curse. We win 27-24 on a walk-off field goal. Exactly almost how we lost the season last year, a field goal. Started off winning it this one.
All right, I had the Eagles winning 31-20. But I will say this. Packers' new defensive coordinator. Now, listen, I'm getting his name again. I had it earlier. Jeff Hafley. He is known for putting pressure on the quarterback. The Philadelphia Eagles' biggest key in this game is to be able to beat the same blitz that beat them the last 6 weeks of last season. Teams ran double bug, nickel double A, quarterback contain. That's the name of the blitz. It's 6 guys on the line of scrimmage with the 2 edge rushers keeping the quarterback in the pocket. If I'm the Packers defensive coordinator, if I'm Jeff Hafley, I'm running that until the Eagles show me that they can beat that. I'm 100% applying pressure to Jalen Hurts until he shows me he can beat it. I think they will beat it. I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game 31-20 on the back of Saquon Barkley being able to run the football. The Packers gave up the 4th most rushing yards last year, and they were 9th in rushing yards given up per carry. I think Saquon Barkley will eat behind a very healthy offensive line for Philadelphia, but I do think the Eagles, this game, I think the Eagles can run away with this one. I believe 31-20 will not be as close as this game will be. I think it could be 31-13 with a late score by Green Bay. I love Philadelphia in this football game. We got a minute left. Any final thoughts? Godfrey, I'll start with you.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Gang, gang, baby, in out of Brazil.
I love that. Kyle, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, look, great show. I'm excited to watch the Patriots actually play a game that matters. I will say, bold prediction, the Patriots cover.
I don't think that's that bold. I really don't. I think the Bengals start slow. I think that game's 13-10 in the third quarter, and we're like, what the hell is going on? I agree with Chris Olmstead. He said that this morning on the morning show, and I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean, I think their defense will hold up against Cincinnati. I do think so.
Agreed completely. Brett, any final thoughts?
No, I can't wait for some real football to be back. Go Pack, go.
By the way,
I'm good.
When I was doing fantasy drafts and people picked Ramondre Stevenson, I was like, ooh, brother, what's that? Ooh. Like, I'm just saying. I feel for Kyle because he's such a nice guy. I'm hoping the Patriots shock the world, but it's going to be rough, brother. If you need to cry, you call me.
I'm going to get every single person out of this chat. Every single person that's listening right now, I'm going to end you on a very sour note. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit them low, hit them high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. EAG!